Artificial intelligence is not perfect. As I have shown in these two videos, the full house mapping video as well as the multiple maps video, the RoboVacuum DEEBOT T9 Plus will create the map, but it creates room-to-room boundaries that are not always clean. And sometimes the boundaries tend to overlap. That is, one room extends into another room, so you don't always get clean boundaries. This creates difficulties in using smart features such as area cleaning, or the route that the DEEBOT has to take around your house. All these smart features have been explained in the full house mapping video. In this video, we will be using the merge and divide buttons in the ECOVACS Home app in order to create clean room boundaries. So make sure you already have the map created in your ECOVACS Home app, and the two videos, that is full house mapping and the multiple maps video, if you live in a multi-storied, will show you how to create a map first in the ECOVACS Home app. Once you have a map of the house, or if you have multiple maps, if you have a multi-storied house, you can then have a look at this video to see how you can use the merge and divide buttons to create clean room boundaries. Or if you have a large open space which still has to be surrounded by walls, then how you can divide that space into various areas and give them different names like your kitchen or your lounge, etc., depending on how you want to zone that area. So please click the subscribe button now, and let's see how we can use the merge and divide buttons. Firstly, in this video, we will see how the ECOVACS DEEBOT T9 Plus RoboVacuum does a really simple merge and divide. Then we'll get on to a more complex merge and divide, where you will see that it takes some time and you have to merge and divide in different ways to get really clean room boundaries. And finally, we'll see how to merge and divide a very large open space into different areas.
Here what you can see is that while I have the full map here, it's picked up all the rooms, the lounge area, the study, etc., the kitchen, but I don't have clean lines for each of the rooms. So the passage is actually split into two. I want this as a single passage, because if I want to clean just the passage, then I don't want to be selecting these two areas, just want the single passage. Similarly, I want this room to come up as a separate room, the kitchen to come up as a separate area rather than being merged with the lounge to come up separately, and this passage you can see is going a little bit inside this other room, so it's not a clean line. So I just want the areas to be clearer than they are. So then I'm going to use the merge and divide function in order to do that. To use the merge and divide function, you go to edit. You can do this with your fingers as well. Go to edit map. So it brings up the map. Now in edit map, you can see the edit areas. Under edit areas, now you can see that the merge and divide buttons are enabled. So if you've got multiple maps, sometimes you'll see that these areas are grayed out if the map is not in use and if you've been using another map which has been stored in this app. But that's something I've explained in detail in the multiple maps section. So for this full house mapping, we've got the merge and divide which is enabled. In this case, it's just one map. So what I now want to do is have this passage, it's going into this room. So I'm going to use, I just want this room as a whole. I don't want this passage area going in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use divide. And it's asking me to select the areas that I want to edit using the divide function. So I'm going to select this area and then go divide this area. So when I hit on divide, I get on the selected area, this line appears. And then what I need to do is make sure I get a gray line. So this is where I need to divide it. Just so when you see a line like this, that is, it's got dashes here, but this is exactly where the other room starts, and then the passage shouldn't be going inside here. This is the entrance to one of the back rooms. So this line has to become thick at that particular door entrance, and then all I need to do is tick. So see, it has now split this yellow area into two. So I've got the passage in clear. So now I can use the merge function to merge this gym room with this other area that it has split the yellow area from. So in order to do this, I'm going to select these two areas first because I want to merge them, because this whole area is one room. So I select both these areas which I need to merge, and then just hit on merge. So when I click on merge, you can see that it has merged both these areas and it's now become a single area, a single green area. Similarly, the passage is one area, so if I click on this and the blue part of it, and I merge these two because it's just one passage. So I click on these two areas and then I hit merge. So now I've got my passage as the whole. Then we come to the lounge room and the study room here. So the study room I do want to split because it's this is too big an area, and I want to split the kitchen as well. So I'm going to select the study room, and this is sort of the entrance into the study room. So I'm going to divide this because I want to split these two areas. So I'll go to divide, click on divide, and now I see that this vertical line has come up. So I'm going to try and make this line horizontal.
So friends, you saw the simple merge and divide, but the last area that I was showing, which was to split out my study room and the kitchen and have all clean boundaries between my kitchen, study room and lounge, that now gets into a complex merge and divide. You could see I was not getting a thick horizontal line to be able to split out the area of that particular room from the rest of the lounge as well as the kitchen. But I was able to do it using the complex merge and divide. That's coming up next in the video.
So now I want to split the study area, so I'm going to select this. I'm going to select this area and then click on divide. So first I want to get my kitchen. I'm not getting that thick line here, so maybe I can't divide it this way. So I might have to try this another way because I'm not getting that thick line here, which is the green signal to divide, and I'm not getting the thick line here as well to split this room. So I'm going to cancel this. So maybe I'll try a merge first because I want to merge. Let's try merging the lounge and this area. Yep. Go to merge. Yep. So it's now merged this whole area, and then let's select this area and we'll try and start dividing it because it's too big an area, which consists of the lounge, the study as well as the kitchen, and it's going a little bit into the passage as well. So see, it's letting me cut out what I want, which is this extra part here, which I will merge with the passage. Yeah, and so then I can take this area and the passage and merge them. Yeah. So now what I have now is my passage is proper, my back rooms are proper, but my lounge area and the study area and the kitchen area, I need to split these three properly. So let's see if we can do that. So I have to select this area now. I want to split that into kitchen and lounge and study. I've selected it. I go to divide. So now this area has appeared. Now I do want to split out the kitchen. So let's take it here. Alright, so if I split it like this, it'll split this area and this area, and maybe that's not what I want, so I'm just going to try and do this, but it's not giving me just the kitchen area, so I'll have to maybe use the split first. Alright, so it has split this into room 7. Now I need to split these areas as well, so I go to divide. Normally what I found with this app is that the horizontal division doesn't work as well as the vertical division does. So you might face the same problem. It's not splitting it. Okay, let's try something else. This actually is the bathroom area. If I want to split it this way. Yeah, see here it's giving me a line, a full line here. So let's try this. So it's now split into room 8 and a study room. So let's see now if it allows me to do some horizontal divisions. Okay, so it seems to be now selecting this area to be split, so let's try and split this up. Okay, cool. So finally it has split out the study room. So now I've got a clean line for the study room and I've got the lounge room. Let's see now if it splits this area, because this whole thing is now the lounge and this is the bathroom area, which I really don't want. And I've got my kitchen separate, so let's see if I can divide this area up. Yep, it is letting me split it. Yep, so now I have a proper kitchen area and I have a proper study area, and what I now need to do is try and split this room 8, because this is partly lounge, partly bathroom, so I just want a clean lounge area as well. So if I click on divide, if I select room 8, click on divide, giving me a clean line anywhere. Ah, cool, it's giving me a clean line, a bright blue line here as well. So alright, fantastic. So it has split this area. Now this is my back bathroom area. Now I can get a clean line for the lounge, so I can select these two areas and then do a merge. and that's a clean lounge. Alright, and then I can then select these two areas and then do a merge. And this is my bathroom area. Alright, so I now have, oh, there's a problem. The kitchen is again merged with the lounge, so I'm going to try and divide this up. Yeah, and go it like that. So sometimes you might have to remove the dotted line to get a solid blue line to get it to actually work. There, it's worked now. So now I have a clean line for the kitchen. I've got my passage properly, I've got my gym room properly, the back room, the lounge, the bathrooms, and my study room, right? So everything is now merged and divided properly, but you'll see that the names that I had given have fallen off. So for lounge, it's now called as room 10, and my kitchen area is called as room 9, and the bathrooms are called as room 8, and so on and so forth. But the passage area and the sleep area and my gym room is still called as the same. So what I will do is I'll rename these areas which have been, so I can just go to area name and then call this the lounge area. And click on the save button, and then this area changes into the lounge area, and similarly I can select this, click on area name, and then call this the kitchen area. And I can change this symbol as well, so that I think they've got the kitchen symbol here somewhere. I'm not sure which one it is. This one, I think. Oh, that's a dining room. Corridor, lounge, laundry. Ah, there it is. That's the kitchen symbol. So I can change the symbol, and then click on save, and then alright, so that now is my merge. Now if you do this, you will have to redo the sequencing of rooms again if you've merged and divided rooms, because the sequence may have fallen off because you've merged and divided them. So once you've got all the clean lines, come back here. You can see the map properly now. Come back here and then check if your cleaning sequence is still around. So your cleaning schedule is still there. Cleaning sequence. Yeah, so that's, you can redo the cleaning sequence here. So please tap on the areas to do your cleaning sequence. Alright, so maybe the way I want to do it then is do the back room first. So this is number 1. Then I do gym room next, passage is number 3, and from here the depot can come to the lounge room. It can then do the kitchen as number 4, the lounge area is number 5, and the study room is number 6, and then it can come back to its charging station. So that's my cleaning sequence, and then I click on save, and you can see that the cleaning sequence is now appeared here. That's your new cleaning sequence. And in order to select a custom area or a particular area that we have newly merged or divided, you follow the same steps that have been explained in the full house mapping.
So friends, now that we have seen a simple as well as a complex merge and divide to divide and get clean room to room boundaries, you can also use the merge and divide function in the ECOVACS Home app to be able to divide a large open space. This open space still needs to be surrounded by walls because the merge and divide lines work from wall to wall, or at least one end has to be a wall and the other end could be a boundary of another room that you have created. So we'll see both the examples in this particular video that's coming up in terms of how to merge and divide open spaces. So here I'm in the edit areas section of the ECOVACS Home app. It's asking me to select the area that I want to edit. So I've selected the large lounge area, and initially I do a vertical divide in order to split this area into a dining section as well as the rest of the lounge area. So you can see that I get a thick line from wall to wall, and it has been able to split my lounge areas into 2. The yellow section will now become my dining area, and then I'm left with the blue section. So again, if I want to split out the blue section, let's try a horizontal split now. So so from one wall and the other end of the horizontal line is the boundary of the passage that I created earlier in this video. So here I'm able to split this large space horizontally as well, and therefore you can see that my lounge is now zoned out into 3 spaces. I don't want 3 spaces, so I'm going to merge the 2 spaces that I just created back into a proper lounge area. So now you can see that my house is now fully divided into the exact rooms with the right kind of boundaries that I want, and this dining area, and I'm going to call it dining area by going into the area name section. And similarly, the lounge area, the name falls off if you do a merge and divide. So I'm going to call this the lounge area. And so I've got my full house map now with all the areas properly divided and named.